So recently I posted a community tab where I asked you guys what video you wanted to see, and the majority of you voted another Awoken Devlog, so that's what we're doing. Now don't worry, next video will be one of the other ones. And yeah, thank you for voting, and let the devlog begin. Hi guys, Zyger here, welcome back to another Awoken Devlog. Now, I know I did a video quite a few days ago, but I'm putting this out again as I'm really in the mood to sort of do some programming and keep working on the game. So, apologies for 2 videos this week. I don't even know why I'm really apologising. Now, I was told that I do speak a little bit too fast, so I apologise for that. I will try to slow down a little bit, but it's still hard. Anyway, last devlog we created some enemies. So we created this Grim Reaper enemy and the slime enemy. Now if you watch the video, you'll know that we're currently having some issues and bugs with the slime enemy, as sometimes when you launch the game it just doesn't render in. So the sprite isn't actually there, but the actual instance is. It's really weird. So sometimes, you know, I'll play the game and the instance is still there, but I can't see it. So it's a little buggy. Still haven't fixed that. I said I would, haven't found the fix yet. I feel like I'm just going to rewrite the code for the slime, and I think that might be quite a good way of fixing it. Anyways, for today's video we're going to be doing some pixel art changes because this world is looking a little bit ugly and I want to change it up a little bit. And I'm not great at pixel art, but I'm going to try my best to sort of make it look a little bit better. And as I said, I'm going to keep working on the pixel art throughout the series anyway. But another thing we're going to do is a day and night cycle. This game needs a day and night cycle because I want enemies that are specific to the cycle, so some will appear only at night and some will appear only at day. So hopefully that won't be too hard. I'm going to work on the day and night cycle first, and then we'll do some more like the pixel art stuff. And then once we finish all of that, we'll see if there's anything else I want to add. So for now, that is it, and I'll be back once I do some of the day and night cycle. Hi guys, I'm back. So I've implemented a day/night cycle into the game right now. So before I show you how I did it, I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So right now it's really sped up, but as you can see it's day and it's slowly starting to get darker, and it's dark. And in a moment, just right now, it's starting to get lighter again because it's coming day. So currently this process is quite sped up, so if you're going to implement this into your own game, I do suggest slowing it down like I would in a second. Now this process is very simple and I'm going to explain it a little bit so you guys can copy this into your actual game if you wish. So to start off with, I created an object called O_cycle, which basically will control the whole cycle process in our game. So create this object and then add a create event, and in here we are going to be sort of setting up some variables that we're going to use in this sort of object. So for starters, we set alpha to 0, so this is how transparent it is, then day to 2, night to 2, color to black, alarm 0 to 60, and then GUI width to get to be display get GUI width, and then GUI height to be display get GUI height. So this is just this. Now if you do want your day and night cycle to be longer, you can just increase this number right here on the day and night, which I will do in a second, but for sort of, I guess, so you guys can see it, for the purpose of this video, I have set it to be lower, and yeah. So then we make an alarm 0. Now this alarm 0 is what will determine our night cycle. So basically in here we state that if the alpha is lower or equal to 0.95, which at the moment it is because it's set to 0, what will happen is it will slowly add 0.01 to that value, and then it runs this whole alarm constantly. So what happens is it starts at 0 and it slowly adds 0.01. Now if it reaches a higher number than 0.95, or a number that is equal to 0.95, what it will do is it will run the second alarm, which is alarm 1 right here. Now alarm 1 is basically just a reversed version of what we just said, but basically when this is run, it checks if the alpha is bigger or equal to 0, which it will be because we just added a bunch of numbers to it, and then it will start to take away 0.01. And then it runs obviously alarm 1 again, And it keeps doing this until it gets to be below 0 or equal to 0. And if it's below or equal to 0, it goes back to alarm 0 and restarts the whole cycle again. So very simple. However, we still haven't drawn this in our world, so we won't be able to notice it. So if you add an event called draw GUI, what we'll do is this will create the actual darkening / lightening rectangle. So for starters, what I did is I made a variable C to equal color, as it's just a lot easier to then write it in the code. And we draw set the alpha to be the alpha because that's what we said earlier, and then the rectangle sorry, I just said that really weirdly. And then we draw a rectangle using the GUI width and the GUI height, and then the color is obviously C, which is right here, and then we don't want an outline, so I pressed false. This also draw sets the alpha to 1 afterwards, and then we draw a text. Now this text is something you don't actually want to add. For my purpose, once again, it's so I can show you guys what it looks like and what the value is. And it's just this number here, so that when I was actually demonstrating it, you can see it's going up. It reaches over 0.95, and then it's going to start slowly decreasing back down again, and then the cycle resets. So that's that. It's very simple. Now for my one, I will actually sort of increase the day and night cycle. I will play around with this, but for now that is the day and night cycle. And now we're going to be going into sort of setting some different I guess pixel art, because the pixel art currently in my game I don't particularly like. I think it's a little janky and not quite where I want it, especially for the inventory and some of the assets in the background. So I'm going to be working on a bit of that to not make this video only 5 minutes long. So I'll see you guys in a bit once I get working on some pixel art. Hi guys, we're back. So a couple things that I did. Now, as you can probably already tell, is for the background sprites for all the different trees, so the S tree and the S tree 3, which is in the background, I changed it to more of a sort of greenish colour to make it look a little bit more alive. Now currently I'm not too thrilled with the idea, so I feel like I might just completely restart the trees and make them a little bit different. But I figured that I would do something else because making pixel art is kind of boring and I'm not that great at it. Now, I ran into a couple of issues. So my original game, because at the top it says working backup, if I quickly open it real quick and show you what happened. Basically, whenever I try and launch the game, it's very sped up. Now, I've contacted Yo-Yo support about this, so people from gamemaker, and I'm waiting on their reply. Now, I checked all the settings and everything is fine, and it shouldn't be doing this. Basically, as you can see, it's really sped up, and I cannot currently fix it, which is really stupid. And I've looked into the settings, as I said, and everything seemed fine, so I don't currently know what's working. Now luckily I had a backup, however I did have to go back and add a couple stuff. For example, the chests from the previous video, the 2 previous videos, oh my bad, have not been in here, so I had to redo them a little bit. And the day and night cycle I think is working, or isn't working just yet, so I'm going to have to copy that over as well. Now I'll do that in a little bit, but you saw it working previously. So that'll be fine. But what I figured we could do is we can do the item display. So currently when I launch the game, what happens is whatever slot I've got selected, nothing actually happens with it. So I'll just show you real quick. If I open some, let me just kill this enemy because it's in the way. But if I kill some, got some stuff, if I put like a health potion in here, it doesn't actually display, which is what I want it to do. I want it to display, and I want it to look as if the player is holding this item. So I'm going to try and be working on that with a very simple process of seeing what slot is selected, getting the item ID, and then drawing that item. So I will be back in a bit after I try and work on that, and I also will add the day and night cycle back in because it's a bit broken. And I'll see you guys in a bit. Hi guys, Zyger here. So previously I said that what I was going to be working on is whatever item is selected, you'll display it. So like an item swap or item display feature. Now that took a very long time because making it work was difficult. to sort of figure out a way of making it work. Now, I'm going to show you how it works first, and then I'm going to go into what it looks, because there's a couple of things that I need to still change and tweak, so this will be the last clip of the video. Anyway, I'll show you what it looks like. It's not finished, so don't judge my code or the way it looks just as of now, because it's not finished, as I said. So for the toolbar, so this is the GUI toolbar item. What I did is in the step event, I literally used 3 lines of code. So the first one is key. Now what this does is it finds the item key of whatever item is in the selected slot. So for example, this is ex_item_get_key, which is a feature in my game when I was making the inventory system. And then this is the inventory, so inventory toolbar, which is this, and then it gets the selected slot. Then I did a variable which is _slot will equal selected slot, and then item key will equal _slot and key. So this basically finds the key of the slot that is currently selected. Then what happens is all the drawing and everything like that occurs in the actual player sprite. So if I go into my player, and there's quite a lot of code and it's really messy, there definitely is a way of making it neater and a lot more efficient, but for now we're going for this because once again, not finished. What this does is for the foods, it checks that if the key equals apple, it'll draw an apple. If it's cheese, it'll draw a cheese. If it's egg, pie, and so forth and so forth. Now currently it's working for everything but the armors, because for the actual armors I'm actually going to do, make it like, what's it called? It's going to draw it on the actual player, and that's basically it. Now basically the X and Y values vary for depending on what item, and that is something that I still need to change. Right guys, so we're in the game and I opened the chests and collected some items. So we have a sword, a bow, 2 apples, and a health potion. So if I go ahead and drop these items down in here, what you will notice is whatever item I've got selected, which in this instance is an apple, it will display on the player. If I switch, it will be a bow. Now obviously I haven't set the sizes or the way it looks just yet, so ignore it. The point is it draws it. And then same with a sword, and same with a potion. So once again, works fine. Now let's say we don't actually have anything in a slot, right? What happens if I switch to an empty slot? Well, if you switch to an empty slot, it won't draw anything. So that's really cool. That took a while, even though the code did look simple. It just took a while to sort of figure out how to do and find the idea. I'm sorry, I just tabbed out. Anyway, the background is also greener, looks a little bit nicer, as I said. Still a lot of tweaking and working on, but I'm really happy that the code actually worked and it functions properly, because it took me a while. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and thank you for the enormous amount of support I've been recently getting and all the new subscribers. I would appreciate it if you like the video and subscribe. Comment down below if you have any suggestions for the games, or if you like the video or not. Obviously I'm not forcing to do any of that, because you know, it's something that I don't want to really push on you guys. Anyway, you know what, that one more thing actually, I was going to make that Discord server. That's still under development, so apologies. That was meant to be out actually, I think, previous video. Apologies about that. I will promise that I'll either link in the description in the next video, or what will happen is once I do make the Discord, I'll go back to all the videos and link it in there. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!